Wrong glasses. Hi, I'm going live right now. Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited to be with you guys today. And today, I'm talking about something called stretching. And I'm not talking about the kind of stretching that you do when you go to the gym and when you work out and you stretch your muscles. Hey there. Hey, Charlotte. Welcome. Glad to see you. Hey, I'm talking about stretching today. And as far as stretching goes, and Martina, hey, welcome. And who else is coming on? Oh, Julie, great to see you. Hi, Julie. Great to see you guys. Woohoo! Oh, this is so fun. I love having people here. Then I know I'm not talking to nobody. So, okay, so today I'm talking about stretching. And I'm not talking about the kind of stretching that you do when you go to the gym and you work out and you stretch your muscles, okay? I'm talking about the kind of stretching where you get out of your comfort zone, okay? And hey, Kelly, I'm so glad you're watching. Woohoo! I'm talking about stretching today. I'm talking about getting out of your comfort zone. And don't switch me off yet, okay? Just give me a chance. Just hear me out on this, okay? Because I know you're probably like, I don't want to be out of my comfort zone. I want to be comfortable. And I get it. I totally get it. But here's what I want to ask you. Okay, do you guys have like a longing inside? Do you have like an itch that you want to scratch? Do you have like something like tugging at you inside that you're like, I really want to do that? Gee, it would be so great if I would do that. It would be so great if I could do that. If I could like do that for my career, how great would that be? Okay, have any of you had any of those thoughts before? Have any of you had any of those desires or longings or inklings before in your life? If you do, could you go ahead and just give me a thumbs up, give me a like, something so that I know that you've felt that before too. Like you felt some kind of, gosh, that'd be so great if I could do that. I'd love to do that. So just give me a like or a yes or something in the comments so I know that you guys are with me. Hey, Melody, so glad you guys are here. So if you have ever felt that way, okay, you are in the right place. Oh, I see all the likes coming up. Yep. I encourage you to keep listening today, okay? Because I've felt a lot of the desires and those longings in my life, and I've learned that it's only through stretching and getting out of my comfort zone that I could actually feel fulfilled and have those longings met. I mean, that is how I've had some of the most amazing experiences I've had in my life, through stretching. That's when I've felt the most joy, the most alive, the most freedom, the most connection, the most like being who I truly am was when I was stretching. And so what do I mean when I say stretching? Okay, I'm talking about taking that one step towards that thing that you feel called to do, okay? It could be as small as some random act of kindness for someone in your neighborhood. It could be making that phone call to a relationship that you haven't connected in a while, that you're feeling like, I'd really like to connect with that person and I just need to be the first one to take that step. It could be, signing up for a dance class or a voice lesson or, an art class or something that you've been wanting to do. It could be starting an exercise program. And it could even be as big as changing your career or moving across the country. I mean, all of those things require stretching. And I have to tell you, most of the time, stretching is uncomfortable. I wish it wasn't that way, trust me. I totally wish that it wasn't that way. But one thing I know for sure is that the key to getting where we want in life is through stretching. But in order to get there, we have to feel those uncomfortable feelings. There's just like no way around it. And so I wanted to ask a question. what happens if we don't stretch? Okay, so like what's the alternative, right? If we decide not to stretch, well, then we usually feel stuck. We can feel depressed. We can feel bored, unfulfilled. Life just keeps going on, the same as it's always been. There's nothing happening. And we really don't feel like we're living our best self. But when we're stretching, yes, we're uncomfortable. And yes, we feel scared. But we also feel so alive. And we feel like we're really living, you know? So when it comes to our career, if we're not fulfilled, we are not going to experience something different if we keep doing the same thing. You've probably heard that definition for insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Well, I've done that before. I was in a job for 30 years hoping that it would change, and it didn't. So I know that feeling. And the deal is if we don't stretch, we're going to stay stuck and nothing's going to change. So if we want a better life, if we want to live our best life and be the person that we were created to be, we've got to be willing to stretch, even if our head is telling us otherwise. Hey, Cindy, so glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. So I just wanted to share a little personal story about when I did some major stretching. Okay, this was when I decided I wanted to sing jazz professionally. And I had been singing most of my life. Some of you know that about me. I sang in schools, I sang in church, I was like leading worship a lot in church. I did a lot of that. It was always for free. There was just a few times where I maybe sang and got paid for it, like at a wedding or sang backup on somebody's album. But I knew that I could sing professionally and that I was good enough. I had been told that a lot in my life. It's just I never took that chance to do it. And I had gotten really interested in jazz music, and I just loved all the old standards. And I just thought it would be so fun to be able to sing that music and get paid for it. So finally, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I got to do this because I'm going to really regret it if I get to the end of my life and I never did it. It's like one of those things that I was like, I got to do this in my lifetime. And that was what finally got me to do it. So I started stretching. And the first thing I did was I talked to somebody who was a professional musician, and I found out how to do this. And then I started listening to musicians in Orange County and to see who I would want to play with and who maybe I would want to perform with. And then I learned how to record a CD with all of those people. And then I was getting better at singing by taking lessons. I had 2 different jazz vocal teachers who helped me. And I learned how to transpose my own music, come up with all the music for the gig, then like market myself to get the gig, get people to the show. I mean, there was so many things I had to learn, and every single piece of it was a huge stretch. And I have to say, I felt uncomfortable every step of the way. Like every single day I was doing it, I was uncomfortable. And yet it was probably one of the most rewarding things I ever did in my life. And I definitely scratched that itch that I had inside, that I had there for so long, that, it was so rewarding. It felt so good to like really do that, you know? And it was kind of like I could die peacefully now knowing that I had like checked that off my bucket list. So another thing I want to talk about is courage, because sometimes people will say, well, I need courage before I can get out of my comfort zone. And I'm here to tell you that is not the case. You don't have courage before. I mean, I'm telling you from my personal experience, courage is a byproduct that comes after you do the stretch. Okay, so normally you don't have the courage before you take this stretch. But what happens is that once you do take that first step, and you take that stretch, you find out that you survived it, that you could do it, that you could handle the discomfort, And as bad as you thought it would be, it usually isn't as bad as you thought. Like your fear is almost worse than the actual experience. And so that gives you the courage to go, okay, I could stretch again. And then as you continue to stretch, you start to realize how much potential you have to do things. Like you realize that there isn't, hey there, thanks for the love. You realize that you can do so much more than you actually think you can. And it's like the fears are what get in the way. And so the more you do it, the more you realize, okay, I can handle the discomfort, I can live through it. And afterwards, I think the payoff really is how you feel about yourself after. You feel so amazing that you actually did it. That is the true payoff. So I'm curious, how many of you guys have stepped out on a limb and done something out of your comfort zone in the past? Maybe it was to end a relationship. Maybe it was to take on a new job, to change your college, move across the country. Maybe it was to love someone that was difficult to love. You know, how did that turn out? When you look back on that experience, how did it turn out? Do you regret any of it? Or do you look back on it and go, I am so glad I took that stretch because that's like the best decision that I ever made. And that's how I feel when I look back on the stretches in my life, even though they were so uncomfortable at the time. I look back and go, that was like the greatest decision because I would not have gotten to do what I wanted to do if I hadn't been willing to do that. So when I learned about this idea of stretching and when it really it really came home to me, like I got it, was a personal development training that I did where we were required or asked to do these stretches in the training that were totally out of our comfort zone. And they were things that would serve others or ourselves. And I felt totally scared and uncomfortable doing it. But after that, I felt probably the most alive that I've ever felt in my life. And I had some of the most amazing experiences in that training room that I've ever had. Feeling the most love, joy, connection, freedom, passion, purpose, aliveness, feeling fully alive. And I remember when I got home from that training, I had a coach from that training that I would get to continue to talk to on the phone from time to time. And I was feeling a little bit kind of in a slump and things were kind of boring and I don't know, I just didn't feel like I felt when I was at that training. And so I said to her, I said, I just don't have that experience anymore and I don't know how to get that back. And she said to me, well, what's different in your life now than when you were in that training room? What's different? And I said, well, I was stretching. And she said, that's it. That is it. You can't just do it in a training or on a retreat or special time, and you can have all those highs. But if you're not doing that in your daily life, you are going to feel stuck. You're going to feel bored. It's going to be the same old, and you're just not going to be fulfilled. And so I really learned a huge lesson from that. I was like, I have to do this in my daily life. I have to get out of my comfort zone all the time in order to feel that aliveness, the passion, the purpose in life. So, ladies, I want to challenge you today to stretch. I want you to first listen to your heart. Okay, so while we've been talking, what is it that you're feeling? Has something come up? If something's coming up for you guys and you kind of know, yep, there's something I got to do, just give me the thumbs up, give me some love. Just, yep, I see it. You know that there's something in there that is calling you that you get to do, okay? So when you first feel that, it's like, and then immediately our head kicks in and the fear comes in. And so that's totally normal if you have that. In fact, when that happens, that is actually your signal that you're really supposed to be doing it. Okay. So, that's the thing you're supposed to do when you feel that fear. So I want to really encourage you and challenge you to stretch this week. And after you do it, notice how you feel. Just notice how great you feel and how you would have missed out on that opportunity if you hadn't taken that opportunity to do that. And just know that the courage and the confidence will come afterwards, okay? You're not gonna feel it before. So, again, as I've been talking, what's been bubbling up inside of you? What is the stretch that you need to make? Why not let it be today? Why not? What are you waiting for? I mean, if you don't stretch, ladies, you're just gonna stay still. And what's gonna be the cost of that in 6 months, 12 months down the road, if nothing changes? So, I know you can do this. I'm totally with you. In fact, I'm gonna share with you in just a minute my own stretch. So I'm gonna do this with you, okay? So I wanna challenge you to put in the comments, what is your stretch this week? Okay, we're gonna love you up in the group. I'm gonna totally be there for you. And I encourage everybody to love everybody up because it's vulnerable, right? Sharing our stretch, but this is like our first step to kind of commit to doing it. And I'm gonna post in there too, okay? So I'm gonna tell you what my stretch is this week, okay? So you've probably noticed that I've been reading from a script here and I've been really working at doing my best to look at the camera the whole time. And I have to tell you, I have been, right before this call, I thought, you know what my stretch could be? My stretch could be that next week when I go live, I have a very, very brief skeletal outline, just a few words, and then I just go, and then I just start talking, okay? And then I'm not constantly looking down at the script, okay? Because I want this to be like I'm talking to you guys. I don't want this to be impersonal, but you know, my performance part of me like wants it to be perfect, and so is like, I'm afraid I gotta get all the words right. But oh my goodness, I mean, this all came out of my head anyway, right? I wrote this, so it's like, it's all in there. I can trust that it's gonna be there. So next week, I am going to be on my live, actually I'm gonna be talking about all the fears that come up when we stretch, okay? So you wanna be there next Tuesday as well. But I'm gonna stretch with you guys. I'm gonna have very few notes, and I'm gonna be doing my best to be looking at you the whole time and not looking down at that script, okay? So that's my stretch. I'm gonna put it in the comments. I just encourage you all to stretch this week. Come on, ladies, we've got this together. You are not alone. I've got you, I'm standing with you. I love you all, and have an awesome week. I can't wait to hear how these stretches go. I can't wait to hear what you create. Let's do this. Let's stretch and then see what we create this week. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, love everybody. Bye. Oh, wait. Jamie, Linda. Oh, thank you. Just want to acknowledge everybody that was here. Cindy, Melody, Jennifer, Martina, Julie, Charlotte. Love you guys. Okay, bye.